defensive play caller in the NFL. 2 years in San Francisco, his first in Houston. He's watching.
There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. In this week's parasha, we're told that Yisro was overjoyed that Klal Yisro was saved from Mitzrayim, as the pasuk says, "Vayomer Yisro, Baruch Hashem, asher hitzel eschem." Wow! Thank you, Hashem, that Klal Yisro was saved. However, there's an interesting chazal. There's a Gemara in Sanhedrin, and the Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that it's a little bit embarrassing for Moshe Rabbeinu and all of Klal Yisrael to have never said Baruch Hashem until Yisro comes along in this week's parasha. And the obvious question is, really? Don't you remember last week's parasha? Last week's parasha we had the Shira Sayam. Klal Yisrael was just saying Shira to Hashem. They were so thankful. For sure they said Baruch Hashem. So what does it mean that Yisro was the first person to really say Baruch Hashem? Perhaps we can answer with the following idea. Dave Phipp was the assistant coach coordinating the football team in a college. Came to the end of season. He found out that he had lost his job. Someone by the name of Jeff Rogers had taken his job. They preferred Jeff over him. He was so upset, but he had no choice. He moved on to a different college and he worked over there. A while later, he gets a phone call. It's Jeff Rogers, the guy that took his job in the previous college, calling him up to ask him, and he says, "Dave, tell me, can you help me out with something specific that I'm trying to organize within the college that you used to work in?" At first, when Dave heard this, he's like, "Jeff Rogers? He's the guy that took my job. I'm not going to help him." And then he caught himself and he said, "You know something? You never lose by being happy for someone else." And he said, "I'm going to help him." And he gave him all the advice. A while later, Jeff Rogers actually made it big. He got a job in the NFL, professional. A while afterwards, Jeff Rogers left the NFL in order to work somewhere else. He gives a call to Dave. Dave picks up the phone. It's Jeff Rogers again. What does he want now? He says, "Dave, I want to tell you something. I want you to know I just left the NFL and I put your name down to work in the NFL as a coach." Dave Phipp gets the job in the NFL San Francisco 49ers. And there he is, saying the story over himself.
And sure enough, that's how I got the job, through Jeff Rogers.
Wow, you never lose out by being happy for somebody else's success. Says the Heilige Teferet Shlomo in this week's parasha, to answer our original question. Of course Klal Yisrael said Shira. Of course they thanked Hashem, but there was a difference. That when Klal Yisrael said Shira previously, it was on something that was negated to themselves. It was their personal victory. It was their personal salvation. Over here, Yisro was the first person, tells us Chazal, to say Baruch Hashem on somebody else's success. You never lose out by being happy for somebody else's situation. Have an amazing Shabbos.